And I realized as I was sitting there listening to everyone that we owe a big thank you to a particular group that has not been mentioned yet. I want to thank our native brothers and sisters from the Nisqually, the Squaxin, and the Chehalis nations, on whose stolen land most of us here tonight now occupy. And second, I'd like to thank the speakers who came before me. They've gotten the sun to a point in the sky where I'm going to avoid blinding most of you with the glare from my bald head. So thank you. Why am I here tonight? You might have guessed I'm the son of an immigrant. But also, like you, I'm appalled and I'm ashamed at how our country is treating immigrants today. I was talking with Alejandro before this, and he mentioned, I think we're at a tipping point. I think people are fed up. I think we're tired of waking up every morning and seeing in our social media feeds, in our newspapers, and on the TV, the atrocities that are being committed in the names of U.S. citizens. We're all immigrants. I said we're all immigrants. My dad's family, where my name comes from, are Prussians. That's a small area, a former kingdom of Germany. They've been here since the 1700s. They settled in the Ohio River Valley. But my mom's from Panama. She arrived here with her brothers and sisters at the height of the civil rights movement in the 1960s. And I want you to picture this. Panama is a tropical country with weather not unlike we're having right now. But they showed up in March, and they were wearing their chanclas, their flip-flops, right? They had their shorts on and their t-shirts. They landed at O'Hare National Airport in Chicago. Right, cold. But here's the thing. Folks in that airport saw them. They saw the chanclas, and they saw the shorts. And they started getting them coats, they started getting them blankets, and they started getting them things that they could be comfortable with in the middle of Chicago in a cold spring weather. You contrast that with what we're seeing today, and I think it's time for all of us to take some action. One of the reasons I want to bring up my family is because I want to put a face on immigrants. I want to put a face on the brown people that we're seeing coming across the border and what they could be. I have a brother and two sisters myself. My brother has worked in air and rail transportation for almost 2 decades. He's an airframe and power plant mechanic. He kept people safe as they went on their vacations for more than 10 years. I have another sister who just got her degree in nutrition. She keeps people fed. She keeps our elderly in a hospital healthy. And my youngest sister decided to pursue education. She's a specialist in pre-K education, so she's working with preschoolers on a daily basis and shaping their futures, turning out citizens that'll be like you and I. And then there's me. Graduated with a master's in engineering and went on to become a volunteer and an activist, and as you heard, run for a local government position. We're contributing members of society. We contribute every single day. And there's no reason that people just like us coming across the border today can't be afforded the same opportunity. So I'm going to lean a little bit on the engineering background now, and I'm going to ask you all to take action. I think we're all here because we care, is that right? And we all want to do something, right? There are some really easy things that every one of us can do. I'm going to give you a smorgasbord, sort of a menu, if you will, of seven different things that you can do, some of them right now, right tonight. And the first one is take out your phone and look for an application called 5 Calls, the 5 Calls app. With this app, you can look up current activist opportunities and it has in there the 5 people that you need to call every day. Your representatives and your senators. Their phone numbers are right there, and you just choose. It gives you a script. It's incredible. Super easy, and it takes almost no thinking. You can pull that out every morning and call the same people every day. If that's too much for you, go into your contacts. Go look up Patty Murray, look up Senator Cantwell, look up Representative Heck, and put their phone numbers under P for politician. And you can just go down and hit them on speed dial every morning. P, P, P. Is that practical? Use social media. I found out about this through a text from somebody. Texting's pretty powerful. But then it was on Facebook, and then it showed up in my Twitter feed. You can do the same thing. You can go on social media. And sure, we don't all have 1,000 friends or 2,000 friends where we're going to get this big audience. We're not influencers, as the term is used. But what you can do is you can go to Representative Heck's website, for example, or his Facebook page, and you can post there, and you can tag a bunch of your friends on his post. And suddenly, you've leveraged a lot of followers into knowing about something like tonight's event. If that's too much for you and you don't think you can get on the social media and do it, I bet you've got a neighbor or a friend that's got social media, and you can ask them to do the same thing. But also, I need you to not stop talking about this issue. I know it's hard. I know it's tiring, but every day we have to give light to what is occurring at the southern border. Every day we have to give truth to power. We cannot be on a slippery slope into what occurred in World War II. That cannot happen in this country, not on my watch and not on your watch. Right. Is anybody keeping track? How many was that? Where are we at? 4? So I got 3 left? All right. And everybody brought note-taking equipment? All right. The next one is easy. It's been mentioned a couple of times. You can donate to NIRP, the Northwest Immigration Rights Project. If you want one of these nifty shirts that I'm wearing, it was designed by a local Latina. It was printed by a local Latinx business. And look right at the top, it says, "I care," in contrast to that callous and terrible jacket that Melania Trump wore on her visit to the southern border. Every t-shirt that you buy, they're only $25. We give the money directly to NWIRP. It goes to help the immigrants, the immigrant fund there. It goes to help representation of people that are being detained. We've done that as a Hispanic Roundtable, and we're proud to continue doing it, and we welcome your support in those efforts. And the next to last thing I want to say is get and be civically involved. This is a great step right here tonight, being on these steps, listening to someone like me say the things that I'm saying. But you can do a little bit more, I think. I look around this, I was looking through the stairs, or up and down the stairs tonight, and I saw a bunch of familiar faces. I saw Ty Menser, our county commissioner, sitting over there. I saw Charlie Snyder up at the top. Charlie's running for Tumwater. There he is, he's waving at me. Charlie's running for Tumwater City Council. Helen Wheatley I see over here, she's running for Port. Clark Gilman, Olympia City Councilman. Folks, they're like Tiffany and Devin mentioned at the beginning of this, we're just average citizens just like you. But if you step up and take that chance, you can be engaged in that way. The last thing I want to leave you with is this. I know many of you are doing this already, and I got to thank you for it. But I don't see enough of it today, and our social feeds, at least on my social media, is full of divisiveness and a lack of compassion, and we certainly see that echoed in our government and in this administration. So the last thing I'll leave you with is this. Teach your children kindness. Teach them compassion. Teach them to treat other people the way they want to be treated. Not because it's a Christian thing to do, and not because you read it on somebody's social media, but because it's the right thing to do. My name's Bill Fishburn. I'm a first-generation Latino. I care as much as you. Thank you.